Discussions on artificial intelligence, particularly generative artificial intelligence, are everywhere. It is changing workplaces and education faster than anyone can truly keep up with. AI tools are currently being used in all areas of society, including scanning job applicants' resumes, biometric security on cell phones, customer service chatbots, and self-checkouts that recognize broccoli. This video will give you an overview of what AI is and how it works to help you become more AI literate. What is artificial intelligence? The Encyclopedia Britannica defines artificial intelligence as the ability of a digital computer to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. AI is not one specific technology, rather it is a wide branch of computer science that includes many different types of processes and tools. AI tools can be trained for a variety of tasks, including making decisions, predictions, or recommendations, classifying information, transcribing information from one format to another, and generating text, images, and audio files. While the launch and popularity of ChatGPT at the end of 2022 may make it seem like AI has appeared out of nowhere, AI is nearly a century old. Most AI histories attribute the theoretical origins of AI to the famous British logician Alan Turing in the 1930s, with the phrase artificial intelligence being coined by the American computer scientist John McCarthy in 1956. While in the past century many had predicted that we would have sentient robots by now, something known as artificial general intelligence or AGI, what we currently have is known as narrow AI. Narrow AI tools are trained to do specific tasks, such as play chess, translate text into another language, or generate an image. Even a general AI chatbot like ChatGPT is limited in what it can do. For example, ChatGPT cannot feel happy. It is important to realize that the technology we have is not AGI, and there is no evidence that the narrow AI we currently have will eventually scale up to AGI. There is currently no evidence that robots will take over the world, and such discussions are distractions from the immediate concerns about AI discussed in these videos. How does AI work? Despite our tendency to use human-like terms to describe AI, such as neural networks, machine learning, hallucinations, and intelligence, AI is not intelligent the way humans are intelligent. It has no common sense or life experience, which often leads to unpredictable results when we use AI tools. For example, if you ask ChatGPT to summarize a book, it may only summarize part of the book. If you asked a human to summarize a book, they would know you wanted the summary of the whole book. That's because a human has common sense, whereas ChatGPT does not. AI does not learn the way our brains learn, is not as flexible as our brains are, and our brains are much more energy efficient. Despite AI's marketing, an artificially intelligent system has no resemblance to a human brain. AI uses something called machine learning to process massive amounts of information called training data. It filters that data through mathematical algorithms to find patterns. An algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations, especially by a computer. These algorithms are closely guarded as proprietary business information, which prevents external analysis. In fact, the training data and the algorithms are so complex that the makers of AI tools know that the systems work, but even they don't know how they work. There is a lot of human involvement in the training process, including helping the computer make sense of training data, mitigating bias and harmful content in the training data, and evaluating the AI tool's output so that the system can be improved. While well-paid software engineers design these systems, the more time-consuming training tasks are often completed by workers making as little as $2 an hour. Because so much human labor is needed, even at such low hourly rates, verifying and correcting huge amounts of training data is quite expensive. Additionally, training AI systems requires massive amounts of computing resources, which take place at enormous data centers that guzzle electricity and water. In fact, creating AI tools is so immensely resource-intensive, it is almost exclusively possible for only the largest tech companies, which includes Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI, and Google. For some of these AI tools, this processed information is used to make automated decisions, predictions, or classifications. But much of the current focus on AI is about generative AI, also known as Gen AI, so let's look at that more closely. Generative AI. While predictive AI has been part of our modern lives for a while, the explosion of generative AI to the public is new. It is built on past predictive AI technology described above, but using even more data, and the processed data turns into what's called large language models, or LLMs. Because the developers of Gen AI tools can't predict everything that users will ask these tools to generate, they're designed to be adapted to a wide range of end-user tasks. End users interact with Gen AI tools using prompts to create text and other media that appear to be created by humans. A prompt is the input or question that you give a generative AI chatbot to get a meaningful response. A prompt is basically a computer program that you write with your everyday words and grammar to get the computer to create what you want it to. ChatGPT and other AI text generators simply use language patterns from their training data to predict the next word in a text, and they do this over and over again until a complete text is produced. This is true for AI-generated resources in other formats such as images and audio as well. Conclusion. Artificial intelligence is not magic, it's math. AI consists of data and algorithms. It is automation. It is not intelligent, it mimics human intelligence as well as learning, understanding, reading, writing, and creating art. The AI tools embedded in apps often use graphic symbols of either magical sparkles or a human-like face. Newspaper articles about AI tend to represent it with images of humanoid robots. In these AI literacy videos, we intentionally avoided using symbols of magic or robots to represent AI. Instead, we use a computer with gears to symbolize computerized automation. When we interact with AI as if it were human, we tend to get very unpredictable results. In the famous science fiction novel The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, people build an enormous supercomputer and ask it for the answer to life, the universe, and everything. This was a very poorly constructed prompt, to say the least. They are profoundly disappointed when the answer the supercomputer gives is simply 42. While this satiric book was published decades before Gen AI became a reality, it remains a good example of the consequences of interacting with artificial intelligence without informed intentionality. As AI becomes increasingly integrated into our daily lives, from how we search for information to how we create content, developing a strong understanding of its fundamentals is a key piece of AI literacy. By recognizing that AI is a tool built on data, algorithms, and human input, not a magical sentient being, you can use it more effectively and responsibly. As you continue your journey toward becoming AI literate, remember that this powerful technology has the potential to automate tasks and solve complex problems, but it requires careful human guidance to do so safely and ethically.